I'm just gonna fucking say it. Women don't deal with the hero's arc. And what I mean by this, they don't go through the hero's journey. This is why if you look at Marvel movies, right, that are like female-centric, or they try to go ahead and change the Marvel character to a female, it does bad. Why? Because the feminine experience is not indicative of the masculine journey, where you're going in and you're training, and Rocky, get your ass whooped, sacrifice, train, punching a fucking meat thing in a fucking punching a carcass in I'll say carcass, punching a carcass in a fucking Philly free shop somewhere in the 1970s. Like, a lot of the time women don't they don't go through that. So with that said, podcasts a lot of the times are not interesting when it's female run, just being honest with you. I can't even think. The only female-led podcast I can think of that's even charted is Call Her Daddy. But what do? They just talk about sex the whole time.
They broke up, by the way.
And they're not even still going. So
shout out 2 Girls, 1 Blunt.
That shit trash, bro. Come on, man. That shit is trash, man.
I would
you guys say something?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that women don't go through anything heroic. What about giving birth?
I mean, that's natural,
yeah.
though.
Okay, that is not... so
that's
the hero's journey.
That's how low the standard is. That's how low the standard is.
Yeah.
That she's referencing something that almost all women.
Go ahead, touch on that.
That almost all women do. Like, that's amazing. And in fact, it's a natural process.
It's
you don't
painful.
even have to earn the ability to do it. It literally is inevitable. All you have to do is not use a condom.
The one talking about that she can't fuck off because she's not thick. You're the one here talking about society and about all this bullshit. I mean, what about get up to show if she was thick or not, to make sure she could pay attention or not?
No, because I'm giving her meaningful advice.
No, how is that meaningful advice?
You really need to.
How is that? Why? Because she doesn't have an ass, so she has to pay attention.
Like what? I see. Jeez, angry one over here.
Because you're pissing me off.
Why are you so mad?
No, because you guys aren't preaching what you guys are fucking like. You guys are like,
cursing?
no.
You could just explain calmly. I'll listen to you.
Please. No,
okay, so let me just understand your viewpoint. So what is your what is your contention? It's precisely. Are you saying that women go through the hero's journey because they birth children?
Yes.
Is that your stance? Okay.
I mean, and not just that, but there's a lot of things that women do that men can do as well. What, you don't think women can go to fights and fight like Rocky?
But what percentage of women are actually doing that?
Not as many, probably.
But there's some women doing it.
There's a ton of women athletes too.
Yeah, sure, but that's a minority. That's like a very small minority. To become an Olympic athlete is extremely difficult. Right? It's
men
not
and
easy.
women. It's both, not just for women.
For sure, but let's be very, very blunt here and honest. Men compete on the hardest and biggest arena, where it's literally the top of the gene pool, top of the genetics, best of the best, etc. There's a reason why people watch the NBA and they don't watch the WNBA. There's a reason why people watch the NFL and there's no female NFL equivalent. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but human beings, when we're going to sit here and watch a competition, we want to see the best of humanity, and that is. Now, with that said, back to what you were saying before.
It's an opinion.
I mean, I think that's objective fact. The WNBA has been non-profitable since its inception.
But isn't it also because
isn't it just now getting profitable? I think it's really like a hype thing that makes it.
Had a spike, but it wasn't even enough to even hit the charts.
Yeah, they operate at a deficit every single year, and they're subsidized by the NBA. They lose money to operate, and it's subsidized by men.
Taken care of. Daddy takes care of them.
But isn't the reason why women's sports aren't viewed as much because men only fund men businesses and men's sports?
No, that was crazy.
That makes that makes no sense.
Actually, so you know what's funny? That is not true at all, and I'll tell you this because as a former Division I athlete, I'll tell you this. There's something called Title 9 or Title 12. I forget the exact title, but basically it goes this way. Whatever amount of funding you go for sports, and you can back me up on this because you went to D1 school as well, whatever amount of sports funding goes to the male side has to go to the female side. So if you look at any big college football team, what do they always have? They have a big female crew team. Why? Because it eats up a bunch of money. They get the best gear, etc. So that's not true. Women sports are actually funded equally in colleges. And a lot of the time, in colleges.
Yeah,
now we're going to go professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
We're talking about NBA.
Here's the thing, though. When you go professionally, guess what? It becomes a business, and it becomes about being profitable. So the reality is that female sports are not profitable.
But the men's business have been going on for longer because of the opportunity that men's had first.
Okay, let's have fun with this. Wait a minute. Let's have fun with this. How many of you have been to a WNBA game?
Raise your hand.
Oh, okay. How many of you have been to an NBA game? Okay. So you fund the very problem you're complaining about.
No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying,
it's a choice. It doesn't mean that women aren't doing it.
How come guys and OnlyFans don't make as much money that we do?
But there's still men doing it. There's still women doing it. Just because people aren't watching it doesn't mean that it's not good.
Yeah, because I'm like, you can't compare the two. They're two different things.
So in business, right? It's not about feeling. It's about money.
Yeah.
Who's making the most money? So by default, if we have two teams here, one men, one women, and they don't make money as a result, who's at fault here?
Okay, I totally understand that, but I also feel like men want to fund men's things, and like, isn't society built that like men are the ones that are supposed to make the money?
You feel like, but in reality, business is money. So regardless of how you feel, it is money.
And actually, you prefer to fund men's sports by your own admission.
Yeah.
You go
Ticket
to an
sales.
NBA game, but you will not go to a WNBA game. So, and I guarantee you, if I ask the majority of women, have you been to a professional female sporting event? Most would probably say no. But if I asked if you've been to a professional male sporting event, they would say yes. So if women really loved women's sports as much as they say, and they were so strong feminists, they would never go to a guy's sports game, and they would just go to the women's one. But why do they not? Because human beings want to watch the best of the best. That's what it is. Now, with your argument is, well, women have babies. And
we're so capable of doing the same thing men are doing, is what I'm saying. By choice of other people that are watching them or making them more money, whatever the case may be, women are still capable of doing the same thing men are doing, whether you want to watch it or not.
Okay.
In their own category.
Exactly.
Yeah, but their category is, with all due respect, mediocre. Like, because if they competed
they're
against...
still doing it. If you go watch a female, they're still dunking. They're still playing games.
Actually,
they're
they're
still
not
doing
dunking.
They're not dunking.
They're not dunking. See, you don't even watch the WNBA. So you don't even watch it because they're not dunking. That was crazy.
So you mentioned, right, before pregnancy. That by itself is a feat, you're right. Women can handle that, only them. But granted, what does it take to get pregnant? Play the clip, Bills. So recently, we've seen what it takes to get pregnant, and it's not that hard. Go ahead, Bills. Play the clip.
That's what you segue to? That's how you're going to do
Play it, nigga. Play it right now.
All right.
Right now.
All right.
What the fuck?
Look, he fucking nutted on my fucking leg. You go to hell, bitch. Oh my God. He nutted on my leg.
Stop the show.
That's disturbing.
A nut is so accessible, you can get it anywhere. And you know what it takes? A man first. So don't tell me that bullshit about pregnancy. You need us to
But you can't go through a pregnancy. You guys can't even handle cramps.
Well, the seed, there's
You
no
can't even
need.
handle cramps.
Hold
You
on.
can't even handle cramps.
Well, the
Situation of cramps, you can't even handle.
Without the seed, there's no need. So ultimately, without us, you're not doing shit, nigga. You're not doing shit. Just saying.
But that goes both ways, though.
So,
Both ways, like with
But you need a seed to succeed.
Yeah.
So either way, you need us.
Yeah.
You need us as men.
yeah.
Okay,
So,
and you need us. The same way we need you, you
We
need
need
us.
each other.
Okay.
But you need us first, though, nigga.
okay.
No, but without us, you can't have your kids, so you can have all your you want. Like,
So-
I'm sure you want to have kids. I'm sure men
So,
want to have
Miss
kids,
Columbia,
but
you got to understand. So, you tried. What you presented was like a false equivalency, right? And what I mean by that is, I described the hero's journey where the other sex is not relevant. That individual is training for some type of competition where it's going to be intense and difficult, and they're making extreme sacrifices to do so.
and women go through that too.
However, you gave something that isn't necessarily a hero's journey because anyone can get pregnant, and you need another individual
Not
to do it.
anyone. Not anyone could get pregnant.
In this teenage.
Okay.
She's Latina saying
Yeah.
not anyone can get pregnant.
Hold
That's
on.
amazing.
I can prove to you, anyone can be pregnant. Even an Asian that's lying.
This guy.
There's
This
a lot
guy.
of women that can't have babies.
Okay, look.
And more
you-
after that one thing.
Okay,
There's a lot
okay.
of women that
Miscarriages.
Look,
Exactly.
Look,
They can't carry a
I
pregnancy.
There's a
can't
lot of men
believe
that don't
that I
have
have
good
to-
semen to have kids. So
She keeps saying a lot.
I gave
It's so
the example
imprecise.
of like Rocky, right? Training for the movie, right? In the movie where he's, waking up early in the morning, going on runs, training 2 to 3 times a day, sacrificing, training to get into a fight where he could possibly die, etc. And you're trying to compare that to having a child. Now, of course, I think having a child is the best thing that you can do. But I'm sorry, that is not the hero's journey. Not every single man goes through the hero's journey. Only a select few of men go through that journey, which is why people want to watch it. Remember, this whole debate
there are women
started.
that do that too.
This whole debate started with female podcasts and male podcasts, and why female podcasts typically don't do as well. And then I was talking about, and I went a little bit further, saying, well, it's because women don't typically have the hero's journey that men do. We have to become who we are.
So is this an opinion or a fact?
This is a fact. Men must earn their value. Women don't.
Women, clearly we have to defend our value here. Like, isn't that what we're
let me
literally
give you an
doing right
example
now?
because you use sports, and sports is really easy.
Yeah.
We often use the strength thing, and people are like, "Oh, obviously men are stronger than women. That's not fair." But let's consider this. You had a blonde, blue-eyed white girl say, yeah, just hawk tool, spit on that thing. And people are like, oh, give her 20,000. She's great. Now, let's flip it. Let's say it was a black guy who was instead talking about women. And he said, yeah, just go spit on that thing and eat it up.
Don't rappers do it?
Must you interrupt? You're not even civilized. See, that's why we can't let lead, because your emotions are causing you to be impolite. You were interrupting him several times. Now you're interrupting me. Would you mind if I complete a sentence?
Go ahead.
Thank you, love. Now,
And we'll give you an opportunity to respond.
yeah, absolutely.
We got you.
So the woman says something that is sexual, aggressive, some might say perverse, and says it in public without shame. And then we applaud her. Would you imagine if a man said that exact same thing in the exact same context? We'd call him creepy. We'd say that he's a predator. We would shun him, and I can assure you he'd be the opposite of famous. He might get canceled. He might lose his job. The social pressures are on. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
But who's making her
Never
famous?
watched a
Men.
zherka stream
Wait,
then.
Who's making her famous?
Let's let her finish. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say fuck her right in the.
That's-
Yeah.
That's a presidential
But
candidate
that's what I'm saying.
that was
No,
on a
already
television
famous.
show.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
agree
star.
with
Yeah.
you, but that's what
was
I
already
agree
famous
with
and
you guys.
successful.
Listen,
Yeah.
I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't honestly, unfortunately, I really don't agree with you. And
I
I'm
can
not
care
gonna-
less if you agree or not.
Hey, big man. Big man.
I'm
Get
not.
the
boxing
I'm a
gloves
real
out.
girl's girl. I'm not a fake ass girl's girl like half of you girls here in Miami.
Never.
Okay? Like,
One thing about me is never be fake. So.
all right, babe,
Okay.
and
All
that's
right,
what
baby.
I'm
Are
not.
those breasts real?
Okay. No, they're not. What does
Okay.
that have to do with my personality?
You just said never be fake, but
We're talking about my.
much of you is fake.
Much.
That's
okay.
the challenge.
Okay.
It's
All
like there's no reality.
Okay.
Did you finish your? Did you have a response for that?
No, I'm
I
done.
do.
You don't. Okay.
Damn,
I was gonna
big
ask you
done.
this because you're critical of my concept that like women don't really go through the hero's journey. Can you name me like one female like superhero that went through the journey?
What do you mean?
A superhero or a real
Yes.
life person?
Superhero, or let's say a fictional character that people look up to or aspire to. Can you name one that you could think of like
Wonder
that
Woman.
go through it? Yeah, like a female that went through
You
the
said
hero's journey.
a character, right?
Yeah.
Wonder
Yes.
Woman.
Actually, she was given her powers from the beginning.
Black Widow.
And so was Superman.
She was.
Yeah, that's why he's not as popular as Batman.
How was Batman? Like, I don't even know about Batman. What is How did Batman?
You don't know
even-
BBC?
Okay. That's why Captain Marvel, like, she's not as interesting as the other superheroes. I mean, again, all I'm trying to say is that the hero's journey is a masculine journey. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to explain to you. And like you trying to equate that to a woman giving birth is not the same at all. Like, there's no movies about a chick pushing out babies, but there's a bunch of movies about dudes overcoming adversity, getting to the top, and doing it through trial and tribulation.
Okay.
Like, it's not the same whatsoever. And the fact that you tried to equate a female giving birth to like Rocky is wild. And that's why men in general. And I'm trying to be very honest with you. This is why these movies are doing really bad that try to put a female lead actress in a hero's role, because women, it's not authentic. Women don't typically go through the hero's journey. Like, for example,
Okay.
you're 28 years old, right?
Damn.
If I take a guy your age, right, do you think he's going to have the same level of access to life that you have?
He'd be broke.
Matter of fact, you have a famous quote.
Yeah,
I think you might.
absolutely.
The brain one, remember?
Yeah, I was holding it in too because
ahead,
she
go ahead.
definitely exemplifies it.
Go ahead. This is like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
If I took your brain and put it in a man's body, you would be in poverty.
Sure. And that's an
Her
opinion.
body or the man?
Example A.
Oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, like them girls kind of turn me on sometimes. They kind of turn me on because you can confuse them. You just be confusing them for fun. You cheat on them, get busted, and then confuse them.
I was home, babe.
That was AI.
I was home, babe.
That wasn't me. That was AI. Oh my God.
Did anyone else have anything that they want to add? You wanted to say something, right? I saw you.
She get that brain. That's that dummy brain.
I'm not dumb. That's actually very insulting.
It is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to call
No.
dumb people to their face. It's like, no, really, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay, well, what I
No,
wanted
I'm
to
gonna tell
say
you why.
I thought it was my turn. I thought it was my turn to respond,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead,
It's my
go
turn.
ahead. Sure,
so
go ahead.
your whole thought about like the meme that is going around or whatever, it's like,
Okay.
oh, why are we like glorifying this girl saying
Yes.
like outrageous things? Because if it was somebody else, then it wouldn't be that same, right?
Yeah, it'd be offensive and they'd get canceled.
Correct, but who's making her famous? Y'all.
Simps. No, I say beat up simps.
Y'all.
I'm all about beat
Y'all
up
are making
simps.
her famous.
I didn't even know what the club was called. You heard me? Like,
I
no,
mean,
I
neither
say
did
beat
I.
up simps. I think these guys are disgusting. I think
Okay.
slurs wouldn't even be allowed to thrive and make money if we didn't have weak males. That's the true problem.
Okay.
I'm not one of the guys who's in red pill and they say like women are the problem. I say men and women are the problem, but mostly men because men are the leaders and
That's
they've
fair.
fallen, right? Like, for example, women will be as they want to be. They don't need to live in reality. Baby girl just told us that her parents are Muslim and she also is in OF. Those two things are so far apart, it's not even funny. So we allow women to live in Disneyland, but the problem lies in when men start to live in Disneyland. Guys are completely psychotic. They say they want a girl who's a good girl, but then they'll still date a girl who has a checkered past and has slept with an infinite amount of guys and then marry her. See, I'm not one of those guys. I find it to be utterly disgusting. That's why I call it out. Now, with regards to speaking on people who display a lack of intelligence, even though it's impolite and rude, I think it's necessary because in this day, we've allowed people like Sexy Red to become popular and spread their filth. So I'm a part of the army stigmatizing those persons so that we know, no, love, you don't look good with those big eyelashes. You look like a damn fool. No, we don't want you to wear a fake hair hat. It's disgusting. So I got to speak on it when they're doing dumb things because otherwise she'll walk around thinking that she's a big deal, when in reality she's not a big deal. She shouldn't interrupt anyone. They say we're good at multitasking. Here's 2 tasks: shut up and sit down. Master that.
He thinks because he has a suit, he can say shit. Like,
Also, like, why are you only stigmatizing like
Because you
women?
got money, Marquette, and you have a suit, and you work out, and you're 6 foot tall.
You had something and then you had something, right? Sure.
Yeah.
We'll let all the ladies say what they got to say.
So like just how you said, like there's simps and then the good guys or whatever. Like the same with women. Like not everybody.
Ooh, I wish it was the same with women.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
really
gonna generalize
do.
the whole gender. Let's do that right now.
No, I like where you're going with this, and I'm going to differentiate because we're not talking about women.
Oh, what
and
are
this
we
is
talking
important.
about?
Often people say modern women. Well, modern women just describes the females of our age. You know, the females in this generation. We really shouldn't say modern women. We really should say lower class women, because what we're often struggling with are the behaviors of lower class. Low IQ, low EQ, low income, low morals. That's what we're dealing with. And the problem with is because they don't take accountability. If I were to address you as an individual because you cannot take and like accept that you might have a flaw, instead you say, oh, no, don't talk about women. Baby, we ain't talking about women. We're talking about you.
I know.
Baby, we ain't talking about women. We talking about you.
That's
Here's
fair.
the difference. Like, as a man,
I'm educated.
I hear you, love. As a man, I can take accountability and acknowledge that I'm imperfect. So, for example, if a chick said to me, like, hey, Marquette, you know, I really like guys with hair. Then I'll have to say, you know what? If I were you, I'd prefer a guy with hair too. You heard me? Some nice waves like mine, like for sure. Like that is better than being bald. You see, I'm not gonna pretend and say, oh, like male pattern. You know, I'm not gonna try to explain it away. I'm gonna say you're right, and in that area, I am not top of the category. Whereas if you deal with a woman, you say, hey, rate each other. I'm like, oh, girl, you're a bad B, you're beautiful, you're all 10s. Whereas men, we have to live in reality. We have to acknowledge the reality about ourselves and the reality about others and figure out where we stand on the hierarchy. Because I can tell you this, if you ask this young lady, is she intelligent? She'll look you dead in your eyes and say yes. If you ask her, does she have manners? She'd say yes. But she's been interrupting and she's been rude and unruly this whole time, which is why I have to address it. Because too often guys will look at her and say, you know, she's attractive. I want to smash, and because they want to smash, they're about to start tap dancing and like being real nice, and because they've never told her the truth, she doesn't even know the truth. Recently, I was in Mallorca in Spain, right? I met this gorgeous Romanian chick, and she says, hey, how old do you think I look? I'm over here with my video editor. You heard me? I'm got her. She texts me on IG. She says, how old do you think I look? And I was like, bro, how old you think Shorty look? He was like, bro, she looked like she at least this age. I was like, yeah, I agree. And he was like, what you gonna say? And I was like, not that. You know, that's the point. You get lied to, then you get smashed and dashed, and at the end you're wondering why, because you have no sense of reality. And why does the lie work on you? Because you want to be lied to.